and just do the thing and have the power. You have everything that you need inside of you to break free from all of your own cycles. You created the habit and you have the power to break the habit. This is Katie Gordon, and you're listening to the Wait is Over podcast. Welcome, health and freedom seekers. Sit back and relax as you come on this journey of overcoming obstacles so you can lose weight, gain health, and live the life you've been looking for. Hello, listeners, and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Katie Gordon, and the wait is over with Dietless Living 360 degrees. There's no recipes, food regimes, or exercise programs to follow. This is simply about how to take your life back, how to take control, because we all have a voice and we want to be heard. We want to forget about dieting, focus on living, and lose weight. And to do that, we create a new mindset, a mindset that gets us over the obstacles and challenges of life and our own unconscious programs, because that's really what's impacting on our weight and health and causing habit relapse. And the purpose of this podcast is to share with you what I learned over 25 years in dieting hell and spending over $100,000 working out how to step into dietless living, because no one should suffer mental and emotional anguish just to lose weight. And today we're talking about overcoming the weight loss obstacle of food voids. So, what's a food void, I hear you ask? And a very good question that is. Well, a food void is an empty space that exists where once we used to have a food activity, a habit, or something that revolved or involved food. And our lives are absolutely chock-a-block full of moments that involve food, right? Almost everything we do socially is around food, connected to food, meeting people for food. And our lives are actually filled with moments that involve food. Our food habits are so intertwined into our daily life that we don't even really realize how many we have until we decide to lose weight. And that's when it becomes glaringly obvious where we had a food habit that we no longer can partake in because we are now changing our foodie habits. So what we normally do in those moments is we default a weight loss solution called substitution, rather than going for what we really should go for, which is elimination. So what that means is we actually substitute a once unhealthy food choice for a new healthier food choice. But substitution is ultimately what leads us into or back to having a habit relapse, because we haven't actually made a change to the habit of eating. We've just changed what it is that we're eating. And truth be told, the healthy snack is not hitting any of the markers that our brain is asking to get from it. We have certain things our brain is saying, yes, please, I want that. That's what we do at this time of day, or that's what we do when we go out for coffee with friends. This is what we do when we go to the markets on Sundays. And so really, habit relapse is inevitable because we're simply not hitting those markers. And that's actually how we end up eating a lot of sugar and fat-free foods and soft drinks, which are really damaging to our health rather than giving us the great health that we really want, which is the purpose of why we want to lose weight, right? We want to have good health. We want to feel better. We want to have more energy. Because instead of actually dealing with the difficult obstacle of abstaining from the habit completely and retraining our unconscious mind and body away from food entirely in those moments, we go for the easy out and substitute instead. So just think about it. If you knew someone who was an alcoholic or had a problem with alcohol and they said to you, hey, I'm giving up the drink, you go, yay, that's wonderful. And they say to you, you know what? This is my plan. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm actually just going to go to the pub every day still, the same time that I always do. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in the same bar and talk to the same people that I talk to, and I'm just going to order a non-alcoholic drink. Would you be surprised if sometime later they turned up and told you that they actually had a habit relapse and had started drinking again? No, because to create change, we do literally have to change, right? We can't just do the same things in the same way and expect to have a different outcome. It just doesn't work that way. And this is why we have to change the way we think, feel, and deal with life, because it's how we live our life overall and day to day that keeps leading us down the same path to the same outcomes. So here's 3 steps to get you started on elimination instead of substitution. Step 1. Identify where your food voids exist or will exist if you're just thinking about getting going with weight loss. So that might be coffee and cake with a friend, Sunday breakfast at the markets, Friday night pizza and wine at home perhaps, a chocolate bar while you're doing the groceries. It could be the 50 cups of tea that you have during the day just to get away from your desk. I know that was a huge one for me. What was I going to do instead of having my 50 cups of tea? Perhaps it's just grabbing a pack of lollies or a drink or something every time you stop at the service station to put fuel in your car. Or maybe it's Saturday window shopping with your friends or your kids and lunch at the local cafe. So just identify where are all the places that you're actually giving yourself a foodie treat, because that's really what we're doing. We're giving ourselves a foodie treat. We don't really see it as that. We just see it as something that we do and it feels good and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when we go on a diet, there's going to be a void because we're no longer going to do that. And step 2 is to simply pre-plan what you're going to do instead. So just start developing a more mindful awareness of what's coming up, where you would normally have a food moment and where you're now going to have a food void. Because it's when we have a food void, an unexpected one, that we tend to fall into a hole. Oh, I didn't realize that when I get to the markets, I'm not going to be able to have my morning treat that I have, the Danish or whatever the thing is that you get from the markets. And all of a sudden you find yourself and you've got what you're left with is a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress or tension in your body because you can't fulfill that habit that has already been pre-programmed into your mind and your morning. So just think of 2 strategies that you can do to change the habit. Abstaining from the location is not always an option either. So sometimes that is a default thing. Well, I just won't go there. But we still have to stop for fuel. We still will want to go grocery shopping. If you've been grabbing a chocolate on your way around the supermarkets, you can't abstain from that location. So you do need to think of a strategy to implement that is not a substitution, because we want to eliminate the habit altogether. And perhaps when it comes to meeting friends, instead of meeting friends at a cafe, you meet them in a park and go for a walk, or perhaps you can sit under a tree and relax and just take some chill time. Be inventive and remember to create change. You do literally have to change. We do need to make new habits. And step 3 is review your progress. When it goes really well, review what you did and duplicate it, maybe again in the same situation, or maybe duplicate it in one of the other situations. And when it doesn't go well, review what happened and put a new plan in place to remedy the situation and try again next time. It may not work again. You may have to try plan A, B, C, D, all the way through to Z, and then start again. It depends on how well ingrained the habit is and how difficult it is for you to abstain from it. But persistence will always win out over the day, because remember, it's small adjustments made over time that lead to great success. And just do the thing and have the power. You have everything that you need inside of you to break free from all of your own cycles. You created the habit and you have the power to break the habit. And it is just simply about consistency and reminding the mind-body consciousness we've changed. We're making new choices now, and this is what we're doing. So thank you for watching or listening today. If you want any extra help with this, please just book in for a private session and let's just get it done this week. Because life is for living, and an ounce of adjustment is always easier to implement than 20 pounds of change. It's time to enjoy the life you've been looking for.